is this satire? This has to be a parody from a movie. But no, it's actual real life.
And that wasn't true. Mr. Rosenbaum never had a gun, right?
He didn't have a gun.
How dare you lie to the rioters? So it's day 3 and still no verdict in the Kyle Rittenhouse case, and tensions are increasing in Kenosha with or between supporters of Rittenhouse and the morons that think he's guilty. So hopefully we don't have to go the entire weekend without getting a verdict from the jury. It's almost 5 o'clock in Wisconsin, so I doubt we're going to get one today. But hopefully they give us one tomorrow, because like I said, putting us all through this agony through the weekend would be pretty harsh. But there's a lot of speculation as to what the judge is going to do. It's within his authority and power to declare a mistrial, which it wouldn't surprise me. Although I think the reason he hasn't done it now, and a lot of people are complaining about this, that he should do it before the jury renders a verdict, or that he should have done it when there was reason enough to declare a mistrial. And let's face it, the prosecution has given plenty of reasons to do it, because they're just simply a sideshow in a circus. I mean, you watch some of the footage of the cross-examination and the closing arguments from Thomas Binger, and it's like, is this satire? This has to be a parody from a movie. But no, it's actual real life. So, but as far as declaring a mistrial, the judge can declare a mistrial whenever he wants, even after the jury comes back with a verdict. So what I think is going to happen, and this is just speculation on my part, but the judge has been doing this long enough to know that Rittenhouse is not guilty of murder, that it is a clear-cut self-defense case. So what I think he's probably going to do is he's going to wait for the jury to come back with a verdict. If it's not guilty, then it's done and over with. But if they come back with anything other than a not guilty verdict, he'll declare a mistrial. Now, in the event of a mistrial, the prosecution can always retry the case. However, I highly doubt that they would, considering the shit show that they put on in this trial. So I really can't imagine them embarrassing themselves any further with a second trial. But again, this is not about the law. This is not about justice. This is about politics. This is about optics, and this is about acquiescing to the woke mob that demanded Rittenhouse be charged with murder in the first place. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here at all. So it wouldn't surprise me if they attempted to retry the case, but anybody with a modicum of common sense and dignity would wash their hands of this case once it's over and not touch it ever again. So I wanted to just play a little bit of the footage from Thomas Binger's cross-examination of Rittenhouse, because it's laughable.
I don't know what Mr. Rosenbaum was thinking when he tried to grab my gun.
You just assumed that he was going to use it, that he was going to try and take it from you, first of all, and then you assumed he was going to try and use it on you.
If I would have let Mr. Rosenbaum get my gun, he would have killed me.
But you had already pointed your gun at him.
Yes, because he was chasing me.
Did you want him to think that you were going to shoot him?
No, I never wanted to shoot Mr. Rosenbaum.
Why'd you point it at him if you didn't have any intention of shooting?
I can't tell you how many times as a police officer I drew my weapon and pointed it at people without the intention of shooting them. That exists. That's a thing. But Thomas Binger wouldn't know that. Or if he does, he's playing coy. His whole purpose here is simply to make Kyle Rittenhouse look like a bad, evil person that showed up in Kenosha and wanted to kill people, because he doesn't have any evidence to support his charges that he's brought against him. So the only thing he has left at this point is to discredit Rittenhouse as much as he possibly can. Yes, you can point a gun at someone without wanting to shoot them. It happens all the time. It happens every single day, multiple times a day, especially in the law enforcement community. I discharged my firearm one time in the 13 years I was a cop. I can't count how many times I actually broke leather and pointed my gun at somebody. But just because I point my gun at somebody doesn't mean I want to shoot them. It means I want them to stop doing whatever it is that they're doing, and that's exactly what Rittenhouse was doing in this case when Rosenbaum was chasing him, and he testifies to that. He says, I wanted Rosenbaum to stop chasing me. He said he was going to kill me if he found me alone, and now he's chasing him. So what's Rittenhouse supposed to think? That he wants to kill him. That's what any reasonable person would assume. Rittenhouse is all by himself without any friends or allies in the middle of a hostile crowd of rioters, and he's just supposed to think, oh, he's just chasing me. It's no big deal. He doesn't want to do anything. He probably wants to high five me. Give me a break.
He was chasing me. I was alone. He threatened to kill me earlier in that night. I didn't want to have to shoot him.
But you understand how dangerous it is to point a gun at
This is the part where Thomas Binger asked the same question like 97 times.
someone, don't you?
I pointed at him because he kept running at me, and I didn't want him to chase me.
But you understand how dangerous that is, don't you?
I pointed at him because he was chasing me.
I'll ask the question a third time, Mr. Rittenhouse. You understand
Don't comment on, just ask your question.
You understand how dangerous it is to point a gun at someone, correct?
Yes.
You understand that that puts someone else in fear that they're about to be killed, right?
He was chasing me.
So if Rosenbaum was in fear that he was going to be killed, why did he keep chasing him? See, this is and I hope people understand this, but I know that some people don't, or they refuse to. Rittenhouse was being chased. If I'm threatened by someone, if I think that person is going to kill me, I don't chase them. Right? If they're running away, let them run away. But to believe or to try and convince people that Rittenhouse was the threat and he provoked this, and that he should have done more to retreat or to get out of the situation. What more could he do? He was running away from Rosenbaum. There were people all around him. Is he supposed to lay down his rifle and then get on his knees and beg for mercy and then just take the beating that he was going to get? At what point is he allowed to defend himself? What's the standard here? That's what I want to know from Thomas Binger.
You understand that when you point your AR-15 at someone else, that may make them feel like they are about to be killed by you.
And what does it matter how they feel? They're the ones aggressing. Rosenbaum was the one aggressing. He was the one threatening. He was the one attacking. Nobody gives a shit at that point how he feels.
Correct?
Mr. Rosenbaum was chasing me. He said he was going to kill me if he got me alone. I was alone. I was running from him. I pointed at him, and it didn't stop him from continuing to chase me.
Did you hear my question?
Yes.
Yet you chose not to answer.
Objection, Your Honor. He answered. He just didn't like the answer.
Okay, so the defense attorney finally objects. After he asked the question 5 or 6 times. Binger doesn't like the answer. He's trying to get Rittenhouse to incriminate himself, but Rittenhouse isn't cooperating. He's answering the questions truthfully is the problem, and Binger doesn't like it. So he's just going to continue to answer the question until he gets ask the question until he gets the answer that he wants.
My question is, you understand that when you point your AR-15 at someone, it may make them feel like you're going to kill them, correct?
Calls for speculation. Relevant. He asked if it would affect someone that way so as to perhaps deter the person.
Do you understand my question?
I do.
Can you please answer it?
I did. I said, Mr. Rosenbaum was chasing me. I pointed my gun at him, and that did not deter him. He could have ran away instead of trying to take my gun from me. But he kept chasing me. It didn't stop him.
Mr. Rittenhouse, you're telling us that you felt like you were about to die, right?
Yes.
But when you point the gun at someone else, that's going to make them feel like they're about to die, right? That's what you wanted him to feel.
This is totally irrelevant. What does it matter how he felt? What matters was his behavior. Yes, Rittenhouse pointed the gun at him because he wanted him to stop chasing him. Rosenbaum didn't stop chasing him. He continued to pursue him, lunged at him, and grabbed his gun. So any reasonable person would assume that he wasn't afraid, that he wasn't deterred, obviously, by having a gun pointed at him, and he's going to continue to attempt to kill Rittenhouse.
No.
You wanted him to get the message from you that If you come any closer, I'm going to kill you. That's why you pointed the gun at him, right?
I pointed the gun at him to deter him from. I pointed the gun at him so he would stop chasing me. That's why I pointed the gun at him.
Because if you point the gun at him, you were hoping he would stop chasing you because he would get the message from you that if he keeps coming, you're going to kill him. Right?
I didn't want to have to kill Mr. Rosenbaum.
That's not the question I asked.
Now, Mr. Rittenhouse, I'm trying to get you to incriminate yourself. I wish you would just cooperate.
It seems argumentative, Mr.
Okay, so finally, after the second objection, the judge jumps in and says, yes, it's argumentative, let's move on. I don't know why it took so long. I don't know why it took asking the same question 12 times before there was a second objection, and then the judge finally sustains the objection. I actually like the way the judge has sort of handled this trial so far, but in this particular case, I don't know why he allowed Rittenhouse to be badgered for so long. But in any event, Thomas Pinger, again, has no evidence, and so he's no evidence to support murder charges, so he's just going to sling as much mud as possible, hoping something will stick, and that the jury will see Rittenhouse as some sort of sociopath that went there to wantonly murder protesters and deserves to be in prison. This is cell phone footage that was taken as Rittenhouse is running away from the area where he shot Rosenbaum. And you can hear people yelling, "Why you shoot him?" Yeah, we're the only ones that are allowed to hurt people. BLM and Antifa, the rioters, the people that are destroying your city, we're the only ones allowed to be violent and hurt people, not you. How dare you defend yourself?
There are people in the crowd that are asking you why you just shot someone, right?
Yes.
And you told him he had a gun.
At the time I was a little dazed and I was thinking of Mr. Zeminski with the pistol he had at the Duramax.
So you shot Mr. Rosenbaum because Joshua Zeminski had a pistol?
No.
You don't get to shoot someone else. You don't get to shoot someone else because someone else has
No.
a gun, right?
No.
But you told the crowd he had a gun, didn't you?
That's what I said.
And that wasn't true. Mr. Rosenbaum never had a gun, right?
He didn't have a gun.
How dare you lie to the rioters? What is the point? Okay, so Kyle Rittenhouse is a liar. Again, it's just he's slinging mud, hoping that the jury will somehow take that into account, which they might. I mean, juries are emotional human beings just like everybody else. But the idea that Binger is trying to make the point, he's trying to make the point that lying to the rioters is bad, right? Of course he's going to lie to the rioters. He just shot someone who was trying to kill him, and now you have a group of hostile rioters and vandals aggressing him and, shouting at him and saying, let's beat him up, let's get him, pointing fingers at him. So, yes, he's going to do whatever he has to do and say whatever he has to say to get out of there. Okay, so now we're going to jump ahead a little bit to the second event of this where Rittenhouse has to shoot Huber and Grosskreutz. Now, this guy right here, in the, you see him in the dark.
Trips and falls.
Right here, the jump kick guy. That's what he was identified as jump kick man. He's wearing the dark pants and the light pants and the dark shirt. Okay, so yeah, this guy right here is going to go in and he's going to kick Rittenhouse in the head. Now you can't hear it, but right about here, because the guy is talking in the video, Rittenhouse fires 2 shots and misses this guy. He got lucky. Okay, but he was identified as Maurice Freeland, 39 years old. He came forward and admitted that he was the one that kicked Rittenhouse in the head while he was on the ground. Now, not surprisingly, Freeland has an extensive criminal record. He's a convicted felon. And, I mean, I don't know if there was anybody at Kenosha that night rioting and looting that didn't have a criminal record and that wasn't a convicted felon. So that's not surprising. But he lucked out that night. Missed him, must have been by just mere inches. But so hopefully we get a verdict tonight, if not tonight, tomorrow, because I know that we're all tired of waiting for the verdict in this case. And as I said, the hostility between the supporters of Rittenhouse and his and his critics, quote unquote, is growing, and hopefully hopefully law enforcement and the National Guard can keep a lid on things while we wait for the verdict. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, hit the notification bell so you can get notifications every time I do a video. And thank y'all for watching. See you next time.